questions and comments. We have a new one from, this is from Hugo. It says, thanks for the show. Hugo Nunez. I do use an alarm clock, but now I use a smartwatch and track the quality of my sleep. So Hugo, I did that too at one point. I have to tell you, I couldn't find any meaningful data from the sleep app. So if you're getting meaningful data and it's causing you to change your behavior and result in a better night's sleep, I would love to hear from you. I say it not that I'm trying to be skeptical or say you're wrong. I'm open to the idea. But I know it didn't work for me. I'd had nights when I thought I didn't sleep at all. I said I had a perfect night's sleep. I had other nights where the opposite was true. And so I just couldn't get meaningful data. Now, it's been probably 5 years since I've tried one. Like all technology, it's probably improved in the last 5 years. So I would love to hear which one you use. I am skeptical about having any electronics in the bedroom. I do not bring my smartwatch into the bedroom. I do not bring my cell phone into the bedroom. And I try not to look at anything digital 60 minutes before I go to bed and want to go to sleep. Because all the research I've read shows that the lights, the electronic stimulation, it jumbles the brain. And even if you fall asleep, it's more likely to lead to you waking up earlier in the middle of the night. So that's why I'm skeptical about having any electronic gadgets on me. If you've had better luck, different luck, I'm open to suggestions. Certainly, there is a crisis across the world of people not getting enough sleep and it causing a lot of other health factors. People who don't sleep enough typically overeat, and that leads to obesity, and that leads to diabetes, and that leads to heart attack. So sometimes one little tweak on a daily habit like sleep can make all the difference. So Hugo writes in and says, well, first from Seifu, how can I manage if one has shift-wise duty, especially you have night shift duty? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute because that is a real challenge. Hugo says, the way I can actually sleep less and be more rested because I know what works. So there is certainly a theory respected by a lot of scientists that says if you wake yourself up in the right stage of your REM sleep or your sleep patterns, you'll be much more rested than if you slept an additional half hour or so and went into the next phase. So I do recognize that, and I have seen that. I just am skeptical that most people are able to do it. It's kind of like timing the market. Yes, it's possible to invest in the stock market and pull out when you feel a big recession is coming. But as a practical matter, nobody does that. Everyone likes to think they can. Nobody does. And that's kind of my feeling about sleep. If you feel you can really game the system and time the sleep patterns and have yourself wake up at just the right point, it's possible. I still think the bigger problem for the vast majority of people is they're going to bed way too late. They're staying up too late. And they're giving all sorts of electronic stimulation. And they're checking text and email. And you get an email from a client on the other side of the world as their morning, and they're angry with you, and you're looking at that right before you go to sleep. Your mind isn't going to go to sleep because your mind, I know this is how mine used to be. This is why I don't look at email late at night anymore. Your mind is thinking, well, this client is wrong, and how dare they accuse me of this, and I'm going to tell them this. And meanwhile, it's your bedtime and you're sleepy and you need to get up early. So that's the problem with, I find, any electronic stimulation. The sheer act of picking up your phone to put the settings, your sleep settings on, if you're doing that, there's a danger you get a text from that client who's upset about something. So that's why I try to do everything I can to try to keep the electronics away from the bedroom and away from my eyesight 1 hour before going to bed. That's my particular philosophy. But Hugo, I am interested in knowing exactly how you're able to get a better sleep and to feel fully rested. If you're having to use an alarm clock, I'm just skeptical that you're feeling rested versus simply having the illusion of feeling rested? Do you fall asleep other times a day? Do you fall asleep easily for a nap? If so, typically that means you are not getting enough sleep. Now let me address Seifu's comment from earlier. What do you do if you're working midnight to 8 a.m.? I once hosted a talk radio show in Miami Beach from midnight to 4 a.m. on the weekends. And I have to tell you, it was horrible for a lot of reasons. First of all, in South Beach on the weekend, nobody wanted to listen to my political commentary, which is what I was doing at the time. There was more fun, parties, action, and discoing. This was back in the early 90s. So it was bad for a couple of reasons. But the problem was I was exhausted for the next week, didn't catch up until it was time to do the show again. And I realized we don't all get to pick a perfect schedule, but I think long run, you're serious about having a healthy life, you need a sleep schedule that works for you. There are a few people, and from what I gather, it's far less than 1% of people, who truly are night owls, who come alive from midnight to 8 and love sleeping during the day, in which case a night shift is perfect for you. But that's just not the way it is for most people. And what happens is you maybe get 2 or 3 hours sleep, you wake up, the day's going on, your family's home, there's calls, someone's at the door. You don't ever get that good solid 8 hours sleep again. So my recommendation is if you have some kind of midnight shift and you're not easily able to get sleep without an alarm clock, you need to spend every waking second learning new skills, honing your credentials, building things, writing books, whatever it takes so you can get a better job. And I understand in a lot of towns, the best job is going to be in some sort of factory shift work where it's midnight to 8 a.m. You might not be able to fix that problem today or like that or next week, but whether it's a year now or 2 years from now, if you focus on building your career, you can have something better where you have control over your own destiny, your own creation. To me, people ask me, what is success? It's not necessarily having billions of dollars, not turning it down, but to me, that's not success. Success is being able to live life on your terms, where you control your own time, most of the time, your own destiny, what you create, what you focus on, and having all the money you need to do the things you want with your life. To me, that is success. And I think everyone can have a different version of success in terms of materials and cars and houses they want. You could live very simply and live in a small one-bedroom apartment and be the happiest person on earth. But I think if you find yourself tired, filled with drudgery, everyone else you know is about to go to bed and you're having to drag yourself in to a job, if you're saying that's the way it's going to be the rest of my life, I don't think that's a good way to live. Don't quit your job. I'm not telling you to quit your job, but I am asking you, spend every waking moment to prepare yourself for a better job, a better career, a better life, so that you can be in control and create something that's valued in the marketplace. That's all any of us have, is we have the ability to create something with our time. We use our time, our intellect. Some of us write books, some of us make online courses, some of us carve diamonds, whatever it is. Figure out how to do it in a way where the marketplace values you and you don't have to just have one boss from the 8 to 10 shift. And you might not be in a factory. You might be in a hospital. And yes, hospitals need nurses and doctors, but you don't have to do it your whole life.
Well, that's all I've got for now. I've got to run. But you can join me daily on my live stream right here on these platforms. And please follow me there if you haven't done so. I'm TJ Walker. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon.